Now record. Hey guys, so we're tuning in for our Tuesday night Diamonds to SC call. One of my absolute freaking favorites, and what's even better is that it's ready and rearing for end of the month. We were just talking about how exciting it is and getting everybody over those lines. Now, just to kind of reiterate for those of you who are doing maybe end of month for the first time, or maybe only just really paying attention to end of month, why we go so crazy about it is because we get paid on a monthly cycle. So whatever we create in, say, a calendar month, so April, means that we're going to get paid for in the first week of May. So tonight is like the best chance to put in extra orders to get an extra $200, $300, $400 inside your pay for next week. Not only that, but how they work it out. So you know how we have our promotions? Every promotion that we go up means that we basically give ourselves a pay rise. So if we move from VF to DVF or DVF to SDVF, SDVF to SC, and so on and so forth, each position comes with a higher rank of percentage, which means that we could do the same work but get paid more because the company's aware that we've been working for them longer. So the beauty of that is that tomorrow is a brand new month. So if you're close to a bonus, so let's just say you're sitting on the cusp of SC or you're sitting on the cusp of even DVF, if you can promote tonight or early tomorrow morning, now that we've got that little extra buffer, it means that come the next month, you get paid on that higher commission for the entire time. The shitty thing about that is, though, is if you don't do it, let's just say you just miss out on your DVF promotion and you might do it on, say Friday. So 3 or 4 days into the month, you still don't get paid that DVF percentage until the next month ticks over, because you need to be that promotion when the clock changes so that it goes, cool, well, Kel's an SDVF this month, that's her pay rate for the month, even if she was to go SC the next day. Does that make sense? So that's why this is like our optimal chance to go crazy, to encourage all those new people underneath you, hustle for that next promotion so that next month you get even more back inside your bank account. Now, not only that, I'm going to show you guys something. So I wanted to show you today. I'll go for my jammies. Oh, okay. So, oh, I lost one. Oh, that's all right. So these guys, so for you guys who haven't been to conference before, this will be a whole new thing. Can you see this little beauty here? This was my first conference. I don't know if it has the year on it. Yeah, it does. Melbourne 2016. So every time you go to conference, you get one of these with your fancy name on it. That's what we do at registration. And they give you little tiny, they're actually individual ones that you stick together, but it gives you your titles, right? So when I first went to my first conference, I was a senior sales coordinator. I was 3 club. I was POB qualified. I was a qualified business, and I got a first time attending. So you rack them all up. Now, the cool thing about this is that you get to keep them. So, the last one that I attended in Perth, I racked myself up to NMD, 24 club, qualified business, and POB business. Now, I say that because I know so many of you guys are coming to conference. You want to be bloody proud of what's hanging on this thing, okay? So make sure that it says qualified business. Make sure that it says SC, SSC, QNMD. I don't care what it is, but you can keep them and you can track them. And it is just a really proud feeling to be walking around saying, yep, I worked hard for this. And it's silly. I get it. It is. It's really significance driven. But I feel like it's something that really does, I guess, it's important to humans to be recognized, to be appreciated, and to do that to your same efforts as well. To be able to go, you know what, I freaking deserve this. I rock. I've, pushed past so many negative ferrets. I have turned up even when I felt like shit. I have got on a call even when my kids are destroying stuff in the lounge room. Like, I can wear this proudly. So I want you guys to think, especially if you're coming to conference, which I want to hope that you all are, that this month you're going to hustle your little bums off to make sure that you're one step closer to achieving what you need next month, so that when you come to conference, this little nice thing looks nice and long, nice and impressive, and you get to have lots of cool colors on it. You must have a nice stash there too, Joe, do you? I've got my Phoenix one. And I've got 3 of these now, rearing up, ready for my 4th one. Yeah.
I stole a flag from America.
You bad egg. I've got those. We got given so when you become an NMD, they actually reserve the front seats for you. And how they reserve it is they put like this, oh, it's ugly as fuck, but it's like this big massive green t-shirt on it, and it says NMD and the year, and it's literally just there for a chair cover. But we all stole them last year so that we could we had to steal one for Denise to remember, because she was just going NMD, so we sent her the big ugly green t-shirt. But conference is so much fun, guys. Like, obviously I want to get end of month done, but I know a couple of you guys have already touched base on the fact that you want to come to conference, but you're aware that the tickets are raising. The ticket price will raise tomorrow. I should say rise, won't it? The ticket price will rise tomorrow. So you want to make sure that if you can, I get it. I get that it's extra money and most of us don't have it just sitting around, but you want to try and get that secured. It might only be an extra $30 or $40 that it does go up, but hey, that's a couple of cocktails on the night, isn't it? So definitely worth doing it. And then, I mean, I tend to think that once you have solidified your ticket, you've said to the universe, it's got to happen. I got to make it happen. And that's when stuff starts to fall into line. So super excited about that. We'll talk more about conference later in the week. For now, it's end of month. But I wanted to actually just hit on a topic tonight, which is one of my favorite things. And it branches on from what we were doing last week. So we were doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 last week and going. Now, has anybody noticed that this week, having that in their mind, how many times they self-sabotage themselves? How many times they have preoccupied their mind to do something else, and you've now been able to have a little bit of the tools that can, I guess, show you to move you back on the path. Has anybody found that the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 has been pretty impressive? And yeah, definitely potentials. Bring them along. Nobody can say no to conference after they've been, I promise you. Yeah, I've been using it a lot too, and I was already aware of it. I get it. But I've been using it a lot more this week, which is really cool. So we definitely don't want to, leave that one in the past. We're going to drag it along with us. But we're going to talk about something tonight. And it's another one of my favorite things that has created success in my business. And it's called an upper limit problem. Now, some of you guys may have already read this book. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, which is amazing. If you haven't read it, please pop it down on your list to do. Could be good plane reading when we're flying to the conference. But it literally was a game changer for me, an absolute game changer. So some of you guys know it's Gay Hendricks. I'll pop it up in the team page later tonight, just for anybody who's looking for it. I got the Audible version just because I found that I could listen to it when I'm cleaning up or doing stuff or in the car, and I don't really have time to sit down and read a book, which I know many of us don't. So the Audible version was amazing. But it changed a lot of my perspective on so many things, because when we look at the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we heard Mel Robbins talk last week about how it is a tactic for our brain to get preoccupied to keep us in our comfort zone, because that's where we're safe. That's where our mind is doing its job. But it's also our death zone, because success cannot be created inside comfort. Unfortunately, we have to break through it. Now, the Big Leap goes one step further, because what it does is it talks about how we actually, as humans and with our subconscious, self-sabotage ourselves when we start to feel ourselves on a roll. When we start to feel like our life is getting too good, or it's becoming really, achievable for us to reach our goals, something in life happens that generally leaves us feeling, okay, yep, we're back in the comfort zone. We're back in this shit. And unfortunately, we'll get mad at ourselves about it, and we'll feel disappointed and disheartened. But our subconscious and our mind are going, yes, I got her. I got her back where I wanted her. She's safe. She's not going to be successful. And it's working against us. So absolutely, Josie, you have the best example of an upper limit problem. So Josie has been working her ass off for this SDVF promotion, and now she's in a funk. And do you know why? Because all of a sudden, your goals are coming to fruition. Things are moving forward. And your subconscious is going, hang on, this can't be happening right now. We're not ready for this. Slow down, hit the brakes, get depressed, break a leg, start a fight with your partner, spend all the money in your bank. This is like literally the things that we do that sometimes are so silly, but it will start to create drama inside of our life so that we look there rather than looking at continuing to build our success. Now, does anybody kind of relate to this? Have you noticed the pattern in your life? Especially, let's just say people will start replying to you and you'll start thinking, oh, I'll get back to them tomorrow. Oh, it's all right. I don't really need to get back to them today. I'll reply to that tomorrow. Why? Why do that? It's honestly because our subconscious is starting to think, yeah, no, don't do that. It's okay. We'll stay here, stay little, stay down. And now the funny thing about it is that every single one of us have a different thermometer of when our upper limit problem is going to start rearing its head. So one of the biggest ones, and I know Joe will relate to this immensely because we did the same thing. Focus on NMD, focus on NMD, build to NMD, go to NMD, and then get to NMD, and then fuck what? What happens? A whole new upper limit problem arrives because you think, how the hell did that happen and what do I do now? So every level has a new devil. Exactly right, Jose. And we got into a major funk. Both of us did. Even Denise did as well. So we're warning you guys. Anybody who's got NMD on your radar, it happens. But read The Big Leap first because at least then you'll be prepared for it. So what I kind of want to just break down, if we know what it is, we can tackle it. So whatever you're going through, a funk, blues, down moment, one of the biggest things, I have such a beautiful friend, but every time in his life when something is going amazing, something happens to his health. And it could be something totally unrelated. Like I chucked out the break a leg section before because he literally did. His life was all of a sudden going really great. And he decided to do an absolute silly thing of going and meditating at 3 o'clock in the morning, tripped over, fell down some rocks, a rock landed on his leg, and he had to wait there for hours with a rock on his leg. Very, very lucky that he didn't have to get it amputated. But all of a sudden, he spent the next 6 months rehabilitating. So, of course, he didn't have time to go and do that lovely job that he just got or move into his brand new place or do any of that stuff. And the funny thing is you think, well, that's totally a coincidence. But it's not because we know that going to meditate at 3 o'clock in the morning is not a smart choice, especially not down a rocky surface. But his mind led him there. So I just kind of want to allow you guys to understand that it's going to present in different ways. And it always comes from self-conditioned thoughts that have been created over a long time. So it's nothing that we can control. What we have to do is just be aware of it when it rears its head. So be aware of our behaviors, especially if we know we're going towards a big promotion or we know that we've just hit something that we've really wanted. That is like high alert, upper limit problem will happen now. So some of the best ways to move yourself through that upper limit problem, I wrote them down here because I'm dealing with them at the moment. So every level has a new devil. For me, life is pretty bloody amazing. And I'm kind of contemplating, I know pregnancy comes with its issues, but I'm kind of thinking this is really hard on me this time. Why? Could it be because I finally found the man of my dreams? I've finally hit 50 Club and got a really good residual income, finally looking at buying my own property. I'm finally really happy. Of course, I've got to be sick because it's got to be some kind of drama in my life so that I'm not too happy, not too successful, because it's what we've been created and conditioned to believe for our entire lives. You can't have it all. How many times have you heard that? We absolutely can have it all. And I know that through my spiritual principles, but it's quite funny because we assume that we can't. So we will limit ourselves and we will play small and we will try and self-sabotage in different ways to stop ourselves from breaking out of that upper limit. Okay. So one of the biggest ones is just acknowledging that it's a necessary part of the journey. If you're going through an upper limit problem right now, it's normal. It's necessary. Okay. It's breaking through that's the really important part. So one of my biggest things that I could advise you if you're breaking through is get really disciplined with a pattern and a healthy habit. So even if the healthy habit is only 2 or 3 things that you can do each day, whether that be waking up 10 minutes earlier to have a meditation session, whether it's waking up 10 minutes earlier to watch an inspirational clip on YouTube, whether it's, coming home from work and going straight to the gym rather than sitting down and scrolling on Facebook. Do a few things that you can commit to every single day that are actually going to start to move you into a healthier pattern. Because you will find that when you're stuck in an upper limit funk, you will gravitate towards things that waste your time. You'll gravitate towards the black hole of things. And now some people, their form of self-sabotage when they're hitting an upper limit problem is to try and do too much, okay? So all of a sudden they're building a website and then they're creating a video and then they're going out and they're making their new brand and their new content and they're doing this and they're doing that, and now they're going to go and buy a new car and do this because they know that they're on a subconscious level that they cannot maintain it all. So they're going to fall short. So just being able to have 2 or 3 simple habits that you can commit to every single day will help pull you out of that monotonous doing useless stuff and start to build some kind of healthy routine. Now, the second one is increase your tolerance for how good you're prepared to receive. So a lot of us, we kind of just hit this funk, and if we're not aware of it and not prepared of the reason why we're in a funk, we just stay there. And now for me, I know, Joe, this is probably a big one for you too. My pay has been the same for about 8 months. And for me, that's a really big indicator. I'm not growing. Okay. And I'm not growing because I've hit a ceiling. I've hit a ceiling, which is my upper limit problem. I don't believe I'm worth more, which I need to go to work on. So just being able to find, okay, cool. Well, what's going to be my new level of tolerance that I can accept? Oh shit, Stace, can you repeat that? Oh, I have no idea what I said, girlfriend. You might have to watch the recording. Hopefully I can't write that fast. Sorry, babe. Yeah, so was it the first one? Increase your tolerance. Oh yeah, so increase your tolerance for, what does it actually say? For how good it can be. For how good you think life can be. Because just becoming aware of it is usually the first step. So many people go, yeah, but how do I get over it? What do I do? Just the awareness and just the understanding, like last week when we just understood that we needed to make a second in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the awareness. It changed our whole life, just because we're aware of it. We didn't have to do anything else. We just needed to become aware of it. And quite often the upper limit problem is exactly the same. We become aware of it, we see it for what it is, and we take away the power. That's when we can go, cool, okay, well, if I want to reach my next limit, which is, let's say, $10,000 a month, how's that going to make me feel? What have I got to do in order to achieve it? Can I do it? And, am I determined to make it happen? Am I going to continue to show up and get really focused on my top 3 goals that are going to make it happen? I love you, Josie. Still getting out of the wrong end of the bed. Is this all in the book? It is. So much more is in the book. Honestly, it's really difficult to try and cap the whole book in half an hour, but I just wanted to talk to you about it. He actually breaks down, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but he says like a few certain things. Like I know one of them is an illness inside your body. Presenting somewhere as an illness is an upper limit problem. The other one is your fear of leaving people behind. So if you're quite, I guess, attached to people in your life and you feel like you being successful will leave them behind, you can quite often create more turmoil in your upper limit problem because you don't want to grow and leave someone else who's important to you behind. So he really breaks down the psychology of what upper limit problem that you're in and how can we move forward through that. But honestly, I do really just think being aware of the whole process, that it's a thing. It's a real life thing, and it will happen, and it will test you a lot in this business, because we have, no limit to what we can create in our industry. We can always up our pay. We are always going to be faced with an upper limit problem. Always. And like I said, everybody's thermometer is going to be different. Some people can annihilate through this pay plan and get to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month before they reach an upper limit problem. Some people can get to $150 and have an upper limit problem. Yeah, it really just depends on your own conditioning, on your own circle, on the own people around you, your own self-worth, what you put your self-worth category into, and how much work you've done in personal development beforehand. But that being said, I was, one of my biggest mentors is Linda. She hit her upper limit problem last year. She did a lot of work to get past it because she just could not move past that ceiling that she'd created. She could not see a life bigger than what she'd created. And for that reason, she backed right out of the business. She still loved it, but she just felt like there wasn't a place for her anymore, that there was too many other leaders and that we didn't need her. That was literally her self-sabotaging because she couldn't grow forward. She'd hit her ceiling. So she actually had to see it for what it was, go to work on it and say, no, I'm not finished yet. I've got a hell of a lot more that I need to do. So I need to step up and move through this. I've never ever. Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Belle, getting sick is one of the funniest things because you think, well, oh, it's a coincidence. But, we know so much about the holistic health of our body, what we think, our cells hear. And that's no word of a lie. It's absolutely true. So if our mind is communicating to our cells saying, this shit's getting scary, she's going to reach this promotion, she's going to go for it. Like, come on, quick, what are you going to do about it? What can we do to stop her? What can we do to make her stay in this spot where she's safe? So it's really quite crazy, isn't it? And, I would never like to put that pressure on people. People get sick all the time. And it's definitely, I think it's part of the journey. It's not because you're always doing the wrong thing, but it's literally, like I said, it's there. It's going to appear. It's going to happen. Joe, far out. That is awesome. Not awesome, but awesome. It is a total upper limit. Joe wrote in here for the people watching the recording, my cancer came back 3 days after my wedding, total upper limit issue, which is so crazy, right? Because you would have been so happy. Life would have been on next level. You would have been thinking that was close to when you'd already sold your daycare, finished up daycare by then? I can't remember, but I know it was all at the same time. That's right. Absolutely. So the book, it's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But see, that's the thing. We can't judge it and we can't take blame or shame ourselves for it because it's literally just part of the journey. But if we see it for what it is and we take ownership of it and go, okay, cool. Well, yes, this is the problem, but the real problem is actually that I've got an upper limit problem. And that my life is about to go next level. That's what the fun thing is. Your upper limit doesn't present unless it feels threatened. So the cool part about it is that if you're feeling like you're in a funk at the moment in your upper limit problem, your life is actually on a really, really good roll. You're moving towards your goal, and that's why it's reared its head. So that's exciting. Now, number 3, so increase your tolerance was number 2. Know your worth, okay? Increase your tolerance. It's the same thing. Know your worth. Think about it. Why do I not want to do this? What part of me is scared right now to own this next title? What part of me needs to grow a little bit? What part of me needs to step up and over the line a little bit? Do those self-reflective exercises. Even though they're ugly and a little bit uncomfortable, they will help you increase your worth and increase your tolerance for what you can handle. Number 3 is obviously go on high alert when you feel like an upper limit could be approaching. So like I mentioned, if you're going for a big promotion, if something has happened that has made you super happy, be prepared. One of the hardest things is that a lot of people will, let's just say they have an upper limit issue. they can actually reflect that onto their partner. So if things are going really well, you'll find, has anybody ever had a friend where things go really, really well and then all of a sudden they're picking on their partner for something absolutely ridiculous, or they're absolutely certain that their partner's cheating and the world knows that they're not, but this person's now got it in their head and they're going through all this kind of stuff. They're creating an upper limit problem in their relationship because they've reached a stage where, shit, this is too good to be true. You can't have this. You don't deserve this. Stay little, stay small. And all of a sudden they're creating mountains out of molehills because they need that drama, because it's actually sidetracking them from just being happy and creating that success and that love that they really do crave. Now, honestly, reading this book was life-changing for me. Yeah, crazy times. And you know what's nuts is that, like I've mentioned before, this whole business is going to present you with these upper limit problems because we're always going to have a chance to grow. And that's the most beautiful thing about this business. It does seem scary to an aspect because there's always going to be parts where you almost seem like you're in battle with yourself because your consciousness, the part of us that now is aware of this, the part of us that is the smartest part, the soulful part, is aware of what we're doing. The old historical, dinosaur-like brain that we have, it's the one that's stopping and putting on the brakes and saying, no, you can't have it. No, we don't want to do this. It's too good. Like, what happens if it all fails? And it's that little negative stuff that keeps bringing us back down into that spot. We are constantly going to have that battle in this business. Constantly. Like I said, I've got up to 50 club and it still doesn't stop, but we need to be able to just be aware of it. And this book gives you so many really, really cool tools to go through, to tick through, that actually will help you succeed on the other side of it. So what I'm going to do, we've reached our half an hour of that now, but what I might do is go back through and reread or re-listen to the book, especially the parts where it tells you some coping mechanisms and it gets you to break down a few examples of what you might be doing in order to create your upper limit problems. And I'll talk about that next week. We'll discuss that next Tuesday. But if you do have time and the available funds, I seriously would reconsider, I really would, Shannon's already on it, I really would consider going and having a look at or listen to that book because, like I said, it is life-changing. Yeah, at all aspects of life. And it's cool because, like, once you guys have the power and the knowledge, then you can quite often see it in your friends, your partners, your family, just because they might not be their jam, but you can start to not take things personally. Oh, you're acting like an asshole because you've got an upper limit problem. That's all right. It's okay. I'll be tolerant. I'll wait for you. It's cool. Yeah? You don't take it personally because you understand what it is. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I'll pop it up in Team Love. I'll take a little screenshot of it. I say it in my head. I don't say it out loud because I don't want to create too much drama, Stace, but I do say it in my head. Cool. All right, so we're going to spend the next half an hour talking about our beautiful opportunity. Cool. I love you guys. Now, we loved sharing the stories last week. Who else kind of left just feeling elated last week? Like, we seriously have the best damn opportunity in the world. Now, I know that we missed a few people who really I wanted to hear from. So what I'm going to do is, if you are on and you would like to share your story around either the product or the business, please give me a little heads up in the chat box down there so that we can get them covered. Okay, because I'm going to spend a little bit of time running through the product and then a little bit of time around the business as well. And then I want to hear some stories tonight because stories are where it's at. Okay, cool. So now when we talk about the product, guys, remember that benefits are always going to outweigh knowledge. Oh, Taylor, you're amazing. Got you, girlfriend. Okay, so Caitlin. Awesome. Caitlin and Taylor, I got you guys. Anybody else? Pop them on up. Cool. Oh, Pauline, you too, darling. Pauline. Well, you know what? Before I get started and rattle on. Okay, this is awesome. I love this, guys. I'm just going to write your names down because it moves so damn quick. Tammy, I've got you too. Perfect. Okay, Pauline, I'm going to shoot on over to you first, babe. Let's just go straight into stories. I can continue chatting after you finish. Pauline, my love. Let's try. Hello, darling. Business, perfect. Let's try keep them around about 2 to 3 minutes so that we've got time for everybody to share and debrief a little bit after. But Pauline, it's all yours, my love. Let's hear your story around the business.
Cool, thanks. So my story is I wanted to work from home because I had a 14-year-old that had been bullied at school, and I wanted to homeschool him, and I had my 82-year-old mum with dementia moving in with me. So I answered an ad via Facebook from the lovely Shannon, and the first time I turned her down, and then it sort of resonated a little bit later on. I really enjoyed the prospect of having my own hours, doing what I wanted to do, working from wherever, and still having that quality time with my mum, who needed it the most, and of course my son. I had just come out of a job that I had been bullied from really badly, to a point where I ended up in therapy, and so working online just resonated with where I wanted to be at the time, and of course everything that came with it was definitely my cup of tea. So I dived in, no holds barred, and yeah, here I am 12 months down the track, third promotion, and I'm loving it, and I'm gunning for my next one. Watch out, June. But yeah, that's my story, and I just can't wait to see where I go in the next, I don't know, 6 months, year, but I'm definitely going to be NMD by 2020. That's me.
Epic. I love that. We're going to have so many NMDs by 2020. Thank you, darling. I love hearing that there's so many different people, so many different reasons why. And do you know one of the things that I actually wrote down for that? You turned her down. How dare you, Pauline? Who else has ever had somebody turn them down? Me. I turned someone down for 18 months. So if you're too precious at the moment because people are turning you down, you need to harden the F up, okay? Because people like Pauline are just waiting to see you be strong. They're waiting for their time where they can turn around and say, you know what, you were right, I need to do that. Okay, so don't be soft, guys. Okay, now we're going to Taylor. Your turn, my love. Let me find you. Ooh, there's so many beautiful faces on them. I'm having trouble. But there you are. I'll put you on spotlight, darling, and you share away.
All right, thank you so much. Well, the reason why I've actually started with with the Soulful Sister project was by Josie, lovely Josie. I've actually met in person. But yeah, I've actually started up on the products, which are absolutely amazing, by the way. I've been trying to get a lot of people in as well too, and I also done a lot of research as well with this particular business, which I'm actually really, really surprised. And the reason why I'm actually doing this is that if I'm traveling around Australia, I've still got money in my pocket, which is one of the good things, because, you know, like, you're always traveling around and you never have money in your pocket, and it's just like, what do I do? Like, do I do like backpacking jobs or something? But with this, it's just going to help me and my partner so much in a way that we're going to have money in our pockets still, even though we're traveling around Australia, because he wants to go traveling. And I'm like, well, since I'm doing this, we're still going to have money. And he's like, sorry about my language, but fuck yeah. Seriously, like, he is absolutely stunned about it, and I'm absolutely stunned about it as well too. And by having my mum and everyone else on my side, like, my mum's going to help me promote it through her little thing called Larev. So if you want anything, like any information about that, my mum is a consultant with that. So if you want any nice perfumes or anything like that, let me know. and I'll hit you up. So that's me there.
Awesome. I'm so excited for you, honey. So where's the first place you're going to go?
Well, the first place we've actually been to was in Bendigo, Ballarat area. So we're going to go around Australia just to basically do some traveling and see around Australia, because we've got a free camping guide that I got for my partner, and we're pretty much just going to go to all the free camping sites. Yeah.
How awesome. How awesome. Have you heard Jo's story before? I'm going to get her to share again at the end because she's so damn good at it. But that's what she does. She's travelled around Australia with this. So that's awesome. I'm excited. Thank you so much for sharing, darling. Thank you for being brave.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And I'm so excited for you and Jose. Okay, who have I got next on my list? Caitlin. Yeah, babe, you were on my list last week, weren't you? All right, my girl that's just about to qualify.
Yeah, what's happening? Hey, everyone. So I originally joined the business. I started the products first about July last year. Realised how amazing they were very quickly. So I joined the business with Abby. At the time, I was working 6 days a week in a real estate office. If anyone's ever worked in one of them before, you know what it's like. I was doing photography, but still like no control over anything, getting nowhere with money. I'm from Australia, but I live in London. I came here to travel, and I was not doing that at all. If anyone also knows how expensive London is. So I joined the business, and it's honestly changed my life. Like I thought I was just going to be doing photography for the rest of my life, and oh God, my whole life has literally changed. Like I'm studying holistic nutrition now. I'm doing really well with the business. I'm coming back to Australia next month, but like knowing that I don't have to just work for anyone anymore. I can work for my own and live wherever I want. It's just completely changed my life, and I'm so grateful for it.
I'm so grateful that you came on the way too. It's awesome. Thank you, darling. That's a beautiful story.
Yay.
I never realised you're in real estate and photography. Two cool things.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't travel much on one day off, can you?
No.
Doesn't work very well. Now, that brought up a really cool point for me too, because I see so many people who think, I won't talk to, say, Caitlin about the business because she's got an amazing job in real estate and photography, and, she's in real estate and photography, so this probably isn't her jam anyway. So many people are just looking for the wrong people, okay? Caitlin had everything inside her that was made for network marketing. Everything. She had a gypsy spirit. She wanted to be free. She had a hard work ethic. And she also had a big reason why, massive reason why. And that is all you need to look for in people, a reason why. Don't prejudge them. Don't say, oh, they've already got heaps of money, they don't need this, or they already love their job, or, yeah, no, they wouldn't be like you this. If there's a reason why you should introduce this business, absolutely go for it, because you can change people's lives just like Caitlin's. So who have I got next? Jose. Jose is next on my list. Where are you, girlfriend? Pete, I've totally got you down too. Hey, Jose, take yourself off mute, honey, so I can see if I can find you, because you're not coming up. Oh, there you are. I can see you now.
Sorry.
There you go.
I haven't shared my business story in ages, so I'll try to share most of it. But
Well, you look super cute, so take the floor.
So before I spoke with Kat about the business, I still am in 9 to 5, but I was in more like 9 to 9 back then. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. I was actually working 3 jobs to pay back a massive, massive amount of debt that I'd wound myself up in at a young age. So going to work for 60 to 70 hours a week wasn't paying that off. I seemed to be actually going backwards rather than forwards. And even though, I'm still the early stages of the business, and it hasn't paid for all that debt, it has allowed me to pay it off faster. And it's also allowed me to have that side money. So instead of budgeting and pretty much every single cent of my pay just going on paying back debt and, you know, my rent and groceries and that sort of thing, it all still goes towards that. But then I've got this nice little side money that I can put aside to do what I want to do most, which is travel. And my partner, Brad's a teacher, so he gets like massive amounts of holidays throughout the year, which I can't compete with in a 9-to-5 job. Unfortunately, I only get the 4 weeks a year, and my boss is a bit of an asshole and doesn't allow me to have those 4 weeks. I've asked him for a few different days off throughout the year this year already, and they've been declined. I'm lucky enough to be able to have the days off for the Melbourne conference, but it's just little things like that. Like, I hate the fact that I have to ask somebody to go and enjoy a holiday with my partner. So I don't have the freedom just to be like, yep, cool, I'm going away for a week next week and just do it. I actually have to get somebody else's permission, and it makes it worse because I don't like them. If I liked him, it'd be okay, but we don't get along. So it makes it even harder to work for him and to work towards his dreams, especially when I've got massive ones myself. So hopefully with this business, it's going to allow me to retire my 9-to-5, which, my God, you're all going to know when that day comes, but just work from home and be able to travel. And when Brad has his school holidays, so I think it's 14 from memory, or 12 or 14 weeks a year, school holidays, we're just going to up and leave for those weeks and go traveling. So instead of 4 weeks, it's like an extra 10, which is pretty cool. So I'll be debt free and I'll be traveling. So yeah, it's definitely opened heaps of doors, and even just a community now. Like, I used to actually go to work just to keep busy because I hated sitting at home and like listening to my own thoughts. Now I like can't wait to get home, especially on a Tuesday, just so I can jump on with you guys. So yeah, that's it.
So cute. Pretty soon it's going to be Brad saying, I can't keep up with her holidays.
I hope so.
It's going to be the other way around.
I hope so.
Darling, I can't wait for that day either. But be prepared, because there's going to be a lot of freaking upper limit problems coming your way, because there's so many parts in there that you were like, this is happening. So because you've said it's happening, it's going to bloody test you. But I can't wait. Can't wait for it. Of course, I've got Tammy down next on my list. Where are you, darling? If you want to take yourself off mute, it normally lets me see you a bit quicker.
Hi.
There you are. Thanks, darling.
I just want to say thanks to everyone for sharing, because that's really inspiring. It's really cool to hear the stories of success in the business. And so I'm early into the business, and I've been on the product and joined about 6 months ago, just coming up to 6 months. So I just wanted to share the personal product journey, really, because I joined with a very, very sick daughter who had chronic fatigue and a lot of digestive issues and stomach issues, and basically doctors just diagnosed her with an eating disorder, but we knew that there was a lot more going on and there was a lot that needed healing. So and she's always been keen to get help, and she's always been keen to try anything. So, you know, I really knew that she actually desired to do well. And when I got these products, I actually had her in mind. So I got her started on them pretty much the same time as me. My daughter's 21. She's just turned 21, and she's spent pretty much the last 7 years almost bedridden. And I had started to come to terms with the fact that I didn't think she was going to be able to move on and be a grown woman with her life, and I just couldn't see the end. So we started these products. I felt much more energy, but I just wondered if it was placebo or, you know, the excitement. So she was really my gauge, and I watched her, and she just got better and better and better every day. And she just got really excited to get up and take them. She started to get up a lot more often. She decided that she didn't want to nap during the day. If she could help it, she tried not to. And she just started naturally eating better. And then she started cooking. And that was really quite a big surprise. So her appetite really improved. And the real highlight of my story is that about 3 weeks ago she actually moved out. So that's been quite a big surprise and not something that I was expecting at all. And as a mum, it's a bit sad seeing them leave, but also as a woman, I'm just really excited for her that she's finally owning her life. And she's just taking charge, and she's now joined our team. So she's my teamie, and she's just training up gently and slowly under me as she's got the energy. But yeah, we're just having major success with it, and I'm just trying really hard to encourage other parents with any children with any issues with eating to just get on this and give it a go. So that's our focus, and her focus is really encouraging any young friends that she's got that are also struggling. So yeah, I think I'll talk forever, but that's my story. Yeah,
Tammy, that's amazing. That's
it's
so
really big.
Yeah, and
all these lines are from having a baby for 20 years.
Oh, how special. Thank you so much for sharing. I haven't heard that one before. So yeah, I know I do too, Taylor. Super emotional though.
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you, Talon. Honestly, guys, that alone, like I know Pete's gonna share his story now too around the product, but that alone, this business, like I know we go on and on about financial freedom and travel and unlimited income and all that cool stuff, which I don't want to discredit at all, but just being able to have a customer like Tammy's daughter, that's part of changing someone's life. So when you're concerned about posting, when you've got that little shitty gremlin on your shoulder that goes, oh, people have had enough of your shit, stop posting, people are going to unfollow you, all those kind of nasty things, think of stories like that. Like, would you rather please them, or would you rather go and help Tammy and be able to help actually change someone's life? Because that's what it really comes down to. And it sounds so corny, I know, but what we can do in this business is really fucking powerful. It really is. It's not just network marketing. It's not multi-level marketing. It literally is going out there and helping people change their entire health and helping people change their entire wealth as well, which are two pretty massive things. So thank you so much, Tammy. That was absolutely beautiful. Lovely share. Pete, where are you at, my darling? There you are. So you're going to share your product story with us too.
Yeah. So hi everyone. So I started the product because I was working long days at the time. Tony and my wife asked me if I'd like to try it. I thought, yeah, why not? I could do some more energy. I was working 10, 12-hour days, 1.5, 2 hours commute every day, so I was buggered by the time I got home usually. And I got more energy pretty much in the first couple of weeks. I started to feel a lot better. I was lasting the day. And I thought I was pretty healthy at the time, apart from that. But I had some things going on that I sort of had become my normal for a long, long time. I had verrucas in my feet, which I'd had since I was probably about 5, 6 years old. 6 months down the track, they stopped being sore. About 12 months down the track, they disappeared. I always had to get them either burnt out, frozen out, water paint on them, cut out, some method to get rid of them, and they'd always come back within a month or two. Now it's been at least 6 months, I've got none. No sign of any. Other things I had going on was I'd badly broken my right leg when I was 12, and I had what's called compartment syndrome in the muscle beside the break. So it was really, the muscle just gets really tight, aches, sore all the time, and that combined with a knee that I broke on my other leg, which I didn't find out till I was about 15 years later, it was actually broken and the cartilage was disconnected. So my knee was painful. If I favoured that, my right leg would play up. If I favoured my right leg, my knee would play up. I had to give up a job at one point because my right leg was so painful. And they finally looked into my left knee, found it was broken, cleaned up the cartilage, set it out arthritis, and that's all they could do with it. So I was living with that for a long time, and about, let's just say, through the second winter after taking just the premiums, the pain, well, there was no ache in my left knee anymore. not even when it was cold. And the compartment syndrome in my leg, it was starting to settle down as well. Then we introduced the omegas as well, and now that compartment syndrome is all but gone. And I just forget that I've got sore or broken legs now, basically. It's like having normal legs again.
That's amazing.
That combined with the fact that I used to wake up about 10 times a night, was a real light sleeper. Now, after taking the omegas, about 3 times now, I sleep through my alarm. Nothing wakes me up during the night. It's great.
That's
about my product story.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love these because I'm hearing so many, like I've heard brief parts of these, but I'm hearing so many of them for like proper the first time, which is so cool. Now, what I really loved about Pete's was, first of all, that he said he thought he was healthy. How many people around you have said, oh, I don't need those, I don't have something wrong with me? That's what they think because they've spent so long just being used to whatever has been causing them discomfort. So that's why staying consistent is really important. Talking to them, opening up connections is really important because we can ask them some cool questions around their health and things like that can get them thinking. Obviously, Pete had one of the best instigators living with him, so that helped his case. But the second thing that I found really, really important for him to mention there was that it didn't happen straight away. It took a good 6 to 12 months, even that second winter that he was on the premiums. So I think it's really important when we talk to our potential customers, even when we're talking to our real customers, we want to set them up understanding that this is not a miracle pill. It's not a Band-Aid for your problems that's going to fix overnight. What it is doing is it's healing on a cellular level. And that is the most powerful form of healing. Yes, they can go and get, some anti-inflammatory cream and rub it on that old knee and it's going to help make them feel better for a good couple of days. But the fruit and veg capsules staying on them is actually redesigning the DNA inside his knee. And that's not me just pulling shit out of my ass. That's actually an actual, statistic that comes back from our clinical studies, that the fruit and veg, the micronutrients inside our product, talk to our cells and actually redesign our DNA, which is freaking insane. Like there's no other product out there that does that. Chemotherapy doesn't even do that. And it's one of the most expensive and widely used drugs in the world. All it does is just eradicate every fucking thing inside there and hope for the best. But ours actually goes in, gently nurtures, it loves our body, and it creates a better, healthier way from the inside out. So when we talk to customers, of course, we want to showcase the amazing results that happen pretty much, within 2 or 3 days, I noticed so much energy, which I did. Okay, but the stories like Pete's also need to be highlighted. The things that you've noticed over 12 months, they need to be noticed as well. Because so many people, especially if they're coming onto the products for skin issues, they see testimonials of before and after, and they assume that happened in a 1-month supply. I can almost guarantee that skin will take at least 2 or 3 shipments to recorrect itself, to heal itself. It's one of the largest organs. And that also means that, when we go through a detox, that's where a lot sits. So it does take a really long time for that to flush out and to redesign itself in a healthier manner. So I think that that's a really cool, thanks so much for sharing, Pete, because I really, really valued that. I think especially some really cool tips around that if you guys are doing customer care. Don't ever mention, okay, you can get it for 4 months, but then cancel out if you don't like it, okay? Obviously, you want to tell them that they can cancel, okay? You're not locked in for life. But this is a lifestyle. This is what we want to achieve in the next 12 to 13 months, 14 months, 2 years, 8 years. You want to stay on this product because it creates some beautiful stuff inside your body. The cool part about it is when you're doing your customer care phone calls. Now, this should happen around the 3rd month because remember, they get reshipped after the 4th month. So on the 3rd month, give them a call. If you go into our Team Freestyle, even in Team Love, there is a customer care guide that you can go through, and it's got a checklist of questions to ask. And one of the ones is, what have you noticed? There's a checklist in there to go through, because some people go, oh, not much. Just like Pete, you can say, oh, how's your sleep been? Oh, actually, I'm noticing that I'm sleeping better. One of the most crazy things, right? I had a woman, she'll never become my teamie, so she'll never see this. But I had a woman, she did 2 cycles of the product a couple of years ago now, and she quit. She said to me, you know what, I'm not feeling anything. I'm sorry. I did really want to help you out, but I just don't want to stay on them because I'm wasting my money. She had severe endometriosis to the point where she was not even having cycles. She was told that she was infertile, and the reason why she wanted to do it was to try and stop some of her discomfort. Now, her discomfort didn't go away in the 2 months that she was on, the 8 months that she was on the product. Do you know what happened? She got pregnant. She got pregnant, and of course she didn't notice because she wasn't getting cycles. She didn't find out until she was almost 6 months pregnant. Now, the crazy part about that is that neither of us even coincided that she conceived while she was on Juice Plus, until I actually messaged her and I said, hey, baby, I don't want to sound weird or anything, but, was Kai conceived when you were taking the products? Because, when we were having our chat, you were telling me that one of the biggest issues that you had was that you thought you were infertile. And the funny thing is that she was like, oh, actually, yeah, I think he might have been, but didn't think anything of it. Crazy shit. But, that's what it is. Obviously, she went in with the set indication that it was going to fix her endometriosis. That was what she wanted from it. But what I should have done was had better customer care in asking what other things she was noticing. Obviously, I can't be, are you pregnant yet? Are you pregnant yet? Every phone call. But, I could have touched on some different things that got her thinking more. Because I can imagine that if we had done that a bit deeper into it, she probably could have continued on and then had an even healthier pregnancy and all sorts of things. So those customer care questions are really important. And one of the biggest things to pre-frame is when they say, okay, yep, I'm noticing this, 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 and this, you say, oh my God, that's awesome. Imagine how you're going to feel at the end of the next shipment. Yeah. See what I did there? See how I just slid that in, that she's already getting the next shipment and it's on her way. She doesn't have a choice because it's a good choice. And I'm going to make it for her because I'm looking after her health. So that kind of stuff. And then even that, she's kind of thought, oh, I didn't really want the next one, but all right, okay, whatever, I'll deal with that later. But she's got that inside her head now that it's continuing on. It's a process. Yeah, does that make sense? Because I feel like we do need to talk people into the fact that one of their biggest issues is that it's a 4-month supply because we're tricking them into parting with their money. Yeah, that's what their issue is. But if we can explain that we do it on a 4-month cycle because your red blood cells are the last cells to rejuvenate and they rejuvenate on that 120-day mark, that's why it is. That's why we ask that you stay on them for at least 4 months, because otherwise you're just wasting your money. If you tried them for a month, it might not be the cellular healing. The cellular healing that you need might not have come around yet. Yeah, does that make sense? So just being aware of that kind of stuff when you're talking to your customers and letting them know that 4 months is a great time because you are going to see a lot of rejuvenation. It doesn't mean that your entire problems will be solved though, because sometimes it's on a very deep cellular level and we need to work a little bit bigger. So anyway, it's 5 past already. We've gone over time, but I want to hear one more time from our beautiful National Marketing Director down there in freezing Tasmania about her journey and what she's noticed in her, almost 3 years, Jo? Probably is 3 years, is it now? Since you've been on the product in the business. So you can close this over, my darling. It's all yours.
It was 3 years, 4 days ago.
Oh, how exciting. It was your anniversary.
It was indeed. Okay, so do you want product story or business story? Sorry.
Business, I think, tonight.
Okay, cool. So 3 years ago, I was surfing Facebook and in a family daycare group because that was the business that I did. And the lovely Katrina Stark put up a post about how she was selling off all of her resources because she was closing down her family daycare because her online business was going so well that that's what she was going to do now. She was going to work permanently online. At the time, I was about 3 years out of my cancer journey, and I was running my own family daycare. I was dating the most wonderful man. He hadn't yet proposed, but we were dating, and we loved camping. And like some of you girls on here tonight, we love travel. Travel was what did it for us. That was the big dream. But we're a bit older than you guys, so there was totally no way I was going to go backpacking. I was not going fruit picking. I was not picking up work in a bar. So I'm like, how can we travel Australia in our caravan without having to do any of that? So when Katrina said she was working online, I sent her a message along with about 50 other women, Desi included. And we're like, how are you doing? What you're doing? I want to know what it is. And she sent me some info about the products. Now, I went through my cancer journey as naturally as possible. I didn't have chemo and radiation. I actually did a juice diet for 5 weeks, and my lump actually shrunk to half its size. So I've been pretty passionate about trying to avoid chemicals and to do everything as naturally as I possibly could. So I was hugely skeptical about the products. I did all of the research. I wanted the links to the clinical studies. I read them. I checked them all out and decided, you know what? These actually look like the best thing I've seen. I know I'm not juicing as much as I used to, so these could definitely be that top up that I need. So I tried them for myself and I loved them. Having 4 little boys under the age of 4 in my job, I was exhausted. These things gave me energy. They gave me better sleep. It was great. So I jumped into the business, still very skeptical. I got to DVF by buying his products. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is going to work. But I just plugged into the system, did everything that Katrina told me to do. And then we were on holidays a month later in Bali. And we were sitting by the pool. And I was hustling and hustling and hustling, and I got a message from Kat saying, did you know that you're only 2 orders away from getting to SDVF? And I'm like, oh, okay, I still don't really know what any of this means. And randomly, one of the family daycare mums sent me a message about 20 minutes later saying, hey, Jo, that stuff you're taking, I've just run out of my multivitamin. I might give that stuff a go. So I had an order there, and then I just messaged my mum and said, hey, mum, you're buying this stuff. It's good. And so I got to SDVF, and hubby was swimming around the pool, beer in his hand, and I'm like, hey, babe, I think I just got a $300 bonus. And he's like, that's pretty good. So, yeah, that was kind of the start of my journey. And then 2 days later, I met Kat, who was also on holidays in Bali. So we met for the first time overseas. And that was when it really started to click. It's like, wait, I'm earning money while I'm by the pool in Bali. This is actually what we've been looking for. This could really, truly work. So I came back home, went down to conference in Melbourne, which cost us a fortune. When you've only been in the business a short time, you know, it's a pretty big investment. So for those of you who are thinking about that, I know what it's like. But honestly, if I hadn't gone to that conference, I may not be here now. Like, it may not have worked. That's where I came up with the idea for Travel Tribe. That's where I saw the other NMDs who were all completely normal people who just put all their excuses aside and went for it. I just saw the big picture, saw that this could actually work, and decided to go all in. And yeah, so I did. Came home, hustled my little butt off. We got married. And then, as I posted before, 3 days after the wedding, my cancer came back because life was bloody perfect. And so I had to put our travel plans on hold while I dealt with all the cancer stuff. Did that, but we still sold our house, bought the giant caravan, travelled for a year. Now we're down in Tassie. I've got 6 days to go till we're in China. Then come back, and then we get to meet all you guys again in Melbourne for conference. Then we're off again, and then we've got 5 weeks in Europe in September and October. So sorry, I'm going on forever. But I've got the Eiffel Tower on my vision board. It's been there since my very first vision board 3 years ago, and next to it, it's got written, if it is to be, it's up to me. So I'm going to cry. I just, like, it's happening. Like, you know, we've got a week booked with an apartment in Paris. Like, that's just next level. And it's only because of this business. Never in a million years, like, would we have ever been able to do it and then we're traveling around the rest of Europe for 3 or 4 weeks. So, sorry, don't mean to rub it in. I just saw that comment. But I just want to show you guys, like, seriously, I had less than 100 Facebook friends when I started this business. I still have a private Facebook profile because my ex-husband is crazy. You know, there's no excuses. If you want this, you can do this. Anybody can. You have to work hard. I'm not going to lie. You got to hustle for it, but you can do it in stolen moments while you're doing everything else. So, yeah, that's my story.
You're amazing. You're dead set amazing. I love it. And you're so inspirational because you're proof that we can do it. You know, if you set your mind to it, you absolutely can do it. And you're such an inspiration to so many people. So fucking glad for that family daycare post I put up. Hey, and you know what's funny? Like, let's look a little bit for strategies. I knew exactly what I was doing when I put that post up. I was not selling resources. I was scouting the page for anybody that wanted to work online. So get clever, guys. Get clever with your posts. Think, well, what can I do to get people's attention in like-minded groups? Okay, because like-minded, we were family daycare. How cool was that? We had level ground for the entire base of building our relationship until we realized we were way cooler than family daycare. So, you know, absolutely, guys, it's so in your hands right now. I see all you guys at that stage where you're just kind of understanding what this could be for you. That's you 3 years down the track. Okay, that's going to Europe, going to the Eiffel Tower, doing those things that have been on your vision board for so long and still getting paid while you do it. That is the most epic part. Not actually taking holidays. You're still working, you're just by the Eiffel Tower. So thank you so much for your time tonight, guys. I've absolutely loved all the shares, loved hearing all about the stories, and I hope that some of that, the talking beforehand about the upper limit problem will help the next week as we discover a little bit more about what we've got, and not having to ask, yeah, exactly, just going wherever you want. But have a think about, you know, where you're at in life, why you're playing small, why you might be having struggle. Like, end of month is the best time to break through upper limit problems. Just go get shit done. Yeah, even when you're feeling like, oh, you know, I could just go to sleep, or I'm really tired, or I don't know, conference. Really good way to pass through an upper limit problem, I can guarantee, okay, because it's going to smash through all your excuses. So anyway, lovely time chatting with you all. I love our Tuesday nights, and I'm excited to see you all again next week. Let's hustle, babies. We're thinking about until 12 o'clock tomorrow to achieve results for end of month. So let's make it happen. Fingers crossed for all of those who are hustling. Bye.